And they decided after that plane crash killed the Yankees pitcher last year that they're going to impose flight restrictions around Manhattan that were imposed on a temporary basis after that crash permanently. And it's cold in the northern plains and across the Great Lakes, as we know. Ryan O'Neal, I guess we had a people item on that today, Ryan O'Neal's arrest. He says that he got his gun after his drunk son swung a fireplace poker at him and hit his girlfriend, the son's girlfriend. So it was in self-defense. The world's oldest newspaper that's still going, which is a Swedish newspaper, is dropping its Dead Tree edition and going completely digital. They've found a tsunami zone on the East Coast. There's a very rare chance that there could one day be a tsunami there. I think people have been watching too much cable TV. And UN panel has lifted trade bans on three kinds of caviar. People like caviar.
Thank God.
Yeah. I've had caviar since my friend's high school graduation. Let's see. There's a piece on the budget. It actually came out today, and they have it in those big books, and all the Washington reporters who think that Washington's the most important place in the world get the big books. So there's an analysis of it, what it would mean if it were actually enacted.
Is Dory all over that?
Yeah, they've got. It's on here. They've got Illinois, California, and Ohio stories on what it says will mean, but I think it means it would mean if it were actually enacted. They're setting up. Iraqi troops are setting up checkpoints around Baghdad, and an Iraqi general is taking command, which is a sign that this big security crackdown in Baghdad is beginning. A lot of flooding in Indonesia, forcing 340,000 people from their homes. I haven't decided whether Indonesia's a shithole yet, but they do have volcanoes, radical Islamic separatists, and earthquakes besides flooding. So. Saudi Arabia and Iran are trying to get together to try to keep things from spiraling out of control in the Middle East after recent troubles in Lebanon and Iraq. Immigrants from Latin America in the United States are getting scammed by notary publics because the word notary public translates roughly into lawyer in Spanish. So people are going to see notary publics that aren't really lawyers and getting ripped off. There's a piece on electronic check scanning, which of course is already used by a lot of people you pay bills to in the mail, and they're starting to do it more in checkout lines and stuff. Could it mean the end of the check? So they hold it for some. I don't know. I asked that guy if he'd heard any other good rumors about the, and he said he hadn't. I think I asked him Thursday night.
It's not Friday night because it was too cold.
It was too cold, that's right. Some more sidebars on the budget, what it would mean for parks and taxes, defense, et cetera, et cetera. Even though it faces bleak prospects in the Democratic Congress. Senate's begun debate on this resolution opposing the troop increase in Iraq. And I have no idea when they're going to vote on it. The Senate tends to move rather slowly, which is actually kind of a good thing.
It's interesting how they have Iraq on one page and then there's some more Iraq also on the
Oh yes, it's all part of their grand scheme. Syria's president says that the Bush administration can't solve the problems in Iraq, and he's willing to help. I haven't heard any reaction yet from the president. A series of vignettes from Gaza about what life's like in the Gaza Strip. Fatah and Hamas are planning a reconciliation meeting this week in Saudi Arabia. Maybe the last chance to avoid civil war, according to the AP. Undeterred by international pressure, Iran is moving forward with its nuclear program. And some foreign policy experts in Britain are trying to get Tony Blair to persuade the United States to enter into talks with Tehran. Israeli army discovered some bombs on the Israeli side of the border with Lebanon, accused Hezbollah guerrillas of planting them. It would be a violation of the UN ceasefire, if it were true. And in exciting testimony, the Scooter Libby jury is going to hear 8 hours of Scooter's testimony before a grand jury. Rudy Giuliani is filed his papers for the GOP presidential nomination. And there's a follow on John Edwards' pledge to raise taxes yesterday, which ordinarily might be political suicide. They continue to drain water out of this lake in Kentucky that has a weak levee. They started that last week or the week before. Army officer refused to ship out for Iraq. He's facing court-martial. Turner Broadcasting, a division of AOL Time Warner, and a marketing company have agreed to pay $2 million and apologize for that ad campaign caused the terrorism scare in Boston in connection with those battery-operated devices that we can't run pictures of in the Journal Star. Former oil baron who's in a Siberian prison is facing more charges. And there's a piece on Argentina's first couple, comparing them to Bill and Hillary Clinton. And they haven't said which one of them is going to run for president next. The guy's president now, but his wife might run. Arkansas has been sending home obesity report cards to parents, and they ditch the plan now because the new governor's not that thrilled about it. Underactive thyroid may cause premature birth or other problems. They're killing a bunch of turkeys in Britain because of bird flu. After 20 years of on and off litigation, Apple Inc., which formerly was Apple Computers, and Apple Corps, which is the holder of the rights to the Beatles music, have agreed on how Apple Inc. may use the Apple logo. And this could lead the way for Beatles music to finally appear on iTunes. That's been one of the big deficits that they've had in the Beatles music. So follow on Super Bowl ads. And we've got those state-centric budget stories, including Illinois.
Did we hear any word from Dory on whether there's anything for Ag Lab or
I didn't know she's running.
Firefly, or isn't she?
It says she is. I wasn't aware of it.
In Chicago, dejected Bears fans shovel to work today. And then we got the 2 stories that are on the state desk budget about the Bloomington sergeant's lawyer and the kids count thing. In Illinois also has a story about what the president's budget would mean to Illinois. And then more Arctic Blast. Bidding war continues for the Blackstone Group. For equity office properties from the Blackstone Group. Sears Holding Corporation is going to appeal a jury award, ordering it to pay bondholders $73 million. And a truck driver from Mount Vernon, Illinois, went nuts on meth apparently in Albuquerque and plowed through fences and houses and other places like that. There's a broadcast journalist in Southern Illinois who documents weird tales from Southern Illinois. And that's about it.
Okay. Cold. Snowbird killed in Florida. Cable deal. Should we look at the Illinois budget? I suppose it should be. We don't have a clue what's in it.
But it sounds like it's very likely it's going to pass.
No, it's not going to pass anywhere here.
Yeah, but Bush was here a week ago, so maybe You know, we put in all kinds of stuff for Peoria.
Could be.
Or not.
What do we do with the kids' health thing? And Cleve, what are your thoughts on Super Bowl cleanup, follow-up? We don't have a Super Bowl story per se.
Well, we've got our dejected king at number 4, which is kind of, that might be enough. Just put that on B1, that might be enough. Maybe if we do, if there's inside beat permits, you could maybe take that Chicago. People shuffling back to work, inside beat.
Okay, that's a good plan.
How about sports?
Did you say,
Is that our centerpiece?
yeah, I think so. You said cold, snowbirds killed. Did you say Mediacom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I had cold, snowbird, and cable deal.
Right. Fat kids might be worth it.
But we don't have room in A section for the graphic.
Oh.
Depends on how big it's going.